And if you think that's bad, wait till you hear what my wife calls me. This is a real special thing for me tonight. I want to give a little shout out to some members of the Mission Viejo Natadores who are here to support Shirley tonight. Cheryl Barnacote, Jesse Visayo, Tiffany Cohen, and Shannon Hermstead. Thanks so much for coming. You guys are great. Some of you may have gone to the presentation that Bruce Wygo had at 4 o'clock, where he had a panel talking about what makes a great swimming coach. And he had a video that he threw up with interviews of great coaches and great swimmers. And one of the interviews was of Don Gambrell. And I was there when that interview was done. And Don's answer was not the original answer that Don gave when he was asked what makes a great swimming coach. And what he said is exactly the truth. What makes a great swimming coach is a great swimmer. And the person that made people think that I could coach swimming, I'm about to introduce. This young lady came to me when we built a 50-meter pool in Mission Viejo. I don't know why she came other than the fact that her coach had quit. She had to drive 30 miles one way to come to practice. She came twice a day, every day. The only day I think she missed was the day that she thought she had quit swimming until I showed up in her living room and told her that she hadn't quit yet. Olympic year in 1976, our team trained 2.5 hours in the morning, every morning, and 2.5 hours in the afternoon, every afternoon. They trained with the dream of succeeding at the Montreal Olympic Games. Shirley Babashoff, who had won every event, nationally every event during her career, 100, 200, 400, and 800, as well as held American records in all of those events. At the Olympic trials in 1976, won the 100, the 200, the 400, the 800, as well as the 400 IM. Truly a magnificent swimming meet. She went on to She went on with great expectations to Montreal, and the press, obviously, after that kind of Olympic trials, built her up as she deserved to be built up. I begged her not to go on the cover of Sports Illustrated, but that was the only thing that she ever did that was against my wishes. But she did look pretty good on the cover. Shirley, the reason that we're giving you this award tonight is not because of all your great swimming accomplishments. It's because of the fact that you were one of the few people in the 70s to stand up against doping. I think most people were in shock with what was going on. Nothing had been proven like the recent Russian situation, but it was obvious. Everybody was talking about it, but Shirley was the only one with the guts to say something to the press. She got ridiculed for that. She left the sport disappointed and bitter. And I can't tell you how happy I am that 40 years later, she's getting the recognition that she has deserved for so many years. USA Swimming did a film about the relay, which Shirley was very prominently mentioned and focused on. If you haven't read Shirley's new book, you should. It's a wonderful commentary on her life, on what she accomplished, and what she went through. But Shirley, we are so proud of you for the courage that you have shown and continue to show, and we want to present you with the Bob Owsley Award.
Okay, I'm crying, so what? Thank you. This is totally epic. I just wanted to tell you how important my coaches were to me. They're. I learned how to swim when I was 8. A little late, sorry. But when I was 9, I joined my first swim team, and my coach's name was Jay Woods, not Ray Woods, Jay Woods. And he didn't want me on the... Okay, calm down. He didn't want me on the team because I couldn't do butterfly. But he did want my brother, because my brother was super talented. Well, my mom told him, you take both of them because I'm not driving to 2 different places. So I got to be on the Buena Park Splashers when I was 9 and 10. I thought Jay was just like a god because everyone just followed everything he did and just loved him. He was fun to be around. When I turned 11, I went to another team, El Monte Aquatics. My coach was Don Lamont, who also coached Jill Sturkle and Sandy Nielsen. And he was a little more serious, and I got it, and I worked really hard for him. And again, it's just the way that they come off and they make you feel like you're so important, and quite possibly not what you're getting at home. And then I went to the Huntington Beach Aquatic Club after that when I was 13 and swam for a coach named Flip Dar. And he was sarcastic and funny and just made me feel like he took me under his wing, and I think I have some of that sarcasm too to this day, but he was just like the greatest guy. He was a super father figure for me, is what I needed. And then when I went to the Olympics with Huntington Beach Aquatic Club, and when I came back, Flip decided he was going to retire from coaching. So I had to either go to Long Beach and train at Belmont Shore, or go to this new club with a new coach in Mission Viejo, Mark. And I was swimming about, with Flip, maybe 8,500 meters of practice. And we had heard rumors that this new guy was making people swim 10 miles of practice. And we thought, well, I don't know if we want to go that much. So ended up going to Mission Viejo, and first couple of practices we were there, and we did about 8,500, 9,000 meters. And then we said, okay, we'll join. It doesn't look that bad. And then the next practice was 15,000. So I feel like it was kind of a trick, but it really, really worked for me. And each one of those coaches were so important to me at every age and every level that they were just perfect for me. They were all different. They were all super important. But with Mark, I felt like, even for the first year, I felt like I had gotten so much stronger, and I couldn't wait to get to the World Championships in Yugoslavia. And when we got there, the East Germans were pretty much hidden away from us. We couldn't even see them until the time of the race. And they came out, and they looked like weightlifters, and they were beating us by body lengths at a 100 freestyle. We didn't know what happened. Rumors were something of a steroid or something. I was 16 years old. I hadn't taken any kind of steroid classes at school. I didn't know what a steroid was. So, and then we kind of like, through the 4 years, through 72 to 76, they were always there. It was me against the East Germans, and it was always a different East German. And then when 76 came rolling around, the day I took off from swimming, where Mark arrived in my living room, I told him, I go, I'm under so much pressure. Everyone keeps calling. I have these newspapers calling me every day, and I just feel like my head's going to explode. So he put a moratorium on all kinds of interviews for me, which really helped me out. But when I got to Munich and he wasn't there, reporters were coming up to me and saying, well, what do you think? How do you think the East Germans are going to do? And I said, well, they'll probably do fine, even though they have mustaches and deep voices. Might not have been the best thing to say, but you have to realize that I was 4 years under this pressure of these girls that were coming out of this tiny little walled-up country, and everyone else was looking at them like, whoa, these are the greatest swimmers in the world. How come you can't keep up with them? So it was out of frustration, and the East German coach, of course, came back and said, well, we didn't come here to sing. So, it was really hard, and it's hard. It's 40 years later, it's still kind of hard to deal with. I feel like I was swimming against age group swimmers on steroids, and they really shouldn't have been there. I don't know why. The experiments that their coaches and their doctors and their scientists did on these kids, why it had to affect my life. Winning silver behind them all the time, sometimes by tenths of a second, and doing my best time, and then looking like a poor sport because I didn't win the gold medal. So now I think 40 years later, I think people realize what's going on. We've seen it with the East Germans, we've seen it with the Chinese, and now we're seeing it with the Russians. And it's just really sad to know that the children coming up now, they want to do swimming, they want to do the sports they love, and they're going to grow up thinking, well, maybe I'm going to get to the Olympics and have to swim against someone on steroids. So what's the point? Well, the point is we all have to work together to make the sport clean, to keep it clean, to only allow clean athletes. If people want to take steroids and swim, do it in your own country. We don't need to know about it. And there's a petition online. It's my Twitter account if you'd like to go on there, and you can vote to keep swimming clean. And we're trying to get 100,000 people on that by the end of this month. So I think there's a lot of people here, and you know a lot of people. Maybe you can all sign up. But I think that's about all I have to say. I'm just so proud and honored to get this award. It's truly amazing. And I want to thank Mark. I don't think it's, you go up on the podium at the Olympics, and I always felt like I wanted to take him with me and show everyone, this is the guy that got me here. And that's never possible. They're always kind of behind the scenes. And it is true, though, to be a good coach, you do not have to know how to swim very well. There were occasions when, I don't know if we made it look easy or something, but Mark felt like he could do it. Do you remember those times? A couple of times he wanted to just swim a 25-meter breaststroke. He only wanted to go halfway. And he said, I'm going to break this time. You guys are all going to watch me. And when I do, it's going to be extra work for you. And he would dive in, and we'd watch him swim and kind of chuckle. But when he'd stop, we'd all be serious. No, we weren't laughing at you. But there is something, I attempted coaching in my early 20s, but when I found out it took my nights and my weekends, wasn't really that interested in it. So it really takes a special person to be a coach, and I just want each and every one of you to know that you are bettering a lot of children's lives and a lot of people's lives, and they're going to remember that forever, because what you learn through swimming, the discipline, and the respect and the hard work just stays with you for the rest of your life. And I want to really thank all of you and thank everybody that got me this. Thank you.